Folks, some time ago I told you that after looking at this video of Mr. Kirk, we know that that stringhead boy from 200 yards away didn't do this. He was a patsy. Stephen Banoon of Israel Live News just confirms this, folks, about the Zionist Jews. He didn't do it for nothing. Charlie Kirk was out on television running his mouth about the IDF and Netanyahu and the false flag that we all know was staged when they invaded the border, and other atrocities in Gaza, which again, that was God's will. I showed you that in the Word. 48 hours later, and you're going to see this video come in next from, or this way, from Stephen Banoon, Israel Live News. He confirms everything that I felt. I still feel that 48 hours later, they sent, or 48 hours before he was packed up live in front of everybody, they sent him a message about taking the Jewish name off his building because they called him an anti-Semite. You know, that's when you get called one of those by a Jew, or the fake ones, or the Zionists, as I said before. They have a worldwide reach, folks. They can reach out and touch you from anywhere. Because we believe Netanyahu got hitters in place. He came out and spoke about Netanyahu using the United States, and most of us knew this already, using the United States to further escalate their war against Ishmael. It was also said, not he didn't say this, but I know this to be true, that they committed a false flag on one of the United States ships out there in the Black Sea to get the United States to fall in line. The United States runs Israel, folks. They run them. Let's not talk about this book that they produced. They basically tell you that they had him packed up with that book that came out a day before, which was published 4 days before. And then the day before he was packed up, they produced this book on Amazon. Now it's gonna blow your mind, because I showed you this on video. It was called Anastasia J. Casey. That's nobody. The reason why I couldn't find who that person was, because it's an acronym, and when you put a .org behind what was it? Anastasia J.K. When you put an acronym, when you put a .org behind AJC, it takes you to the Jewish Committee, the American Jewish Committee. They wanted their name off of Charlie Kirk's building because they called him an anti-Semite. Now, when you see this video from Stephen Banoon, it's more confirmation, folks. Charlie was gone before he hit the ground, and they made sure of it. And Israel Live News, Stephen Banoon even got more information, more intel on who or where the shot came from. The potato came from the right side. This took money, and they used that boy as a patsy. If Israel runs the United States, they're also programming main scumbag media to continue to watch this boy. Oh, you live with a transformer. The boy, the first dude they caught, he was a pedophile. And what was he saying when they caught him? Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. They placed these people in these positions so that you would not look at the right direction. And now what we got coming up next week, Israel, it all comes back to them and Jacob's trouble. They're about to be made a nation state up against Israel, is Palestine, is Ishmael. Jacob's trouble is here. So they turned themselves into Saul, persecuting Charlie Kirk, a man of God, a man who promoted Jesus Christ. And all the young people who listened to him and had a brain, they're even saying that Israel did it. Check out this video, folks. And for all you talking about, it was AI, it was a hologram. You don't carry no dead hologram that's bloody to a truck. And hitters seen all over. The dude that was standing out at the tunnel as they was dragging him out, he had a phone in his hand, or device, and he was standing up there by himself to confirm the kill. It was a hologram.
It's September 26, 2025, and another shocking evidence, I believe, is coming forward. The recoil or the ejection, the slide action of the weapon that was used can be heard in the camera right here that's actually filming the action. Not only do we have the laser of whatever it was, perhaps an IR laser, infrared laser, which could be picked up by the screen of a phone, and I'll bring that back to you real quick. As this man right here, as he's holding his phone, not only can the laser just briefly gets picked up, there it is right there in the image of his phone, and again, I will do my very dead level best not to uh, deal with graphic things here in this video here, because I don't want to show those type things for the sake of the family and stuff. But not only are we able to see, there that laser is, the laser bounces off this guy's phone, goes up, and then Charlie is hit. All right. By the way, the guy that you see in the front, some people have thought that maybe he had something in his hand and actually shot him. No, Charlie is shot from the side. There is another man that actually is able to prove that in photo images there, blood coming from the side of Charlie's head here near his ear. This guy right here, though, you will see in this video here later. Let me back it up. I'll show you. He actually uh, is trying to run to the aid of Charlie. He jumps the fence after Charlie hits the ground. He had jumped the fence. He comes over. You will see him here in just a second. I want to clear this guy up here real quick. He comes around. There he is right there. He's coming around to try to help as well, but he's met by security. They don't allow him to get any closer. But when you see right here, watch what happens as the people recoil. He has a slight recoil reaction too. That's like a fear that hits people when they do that recoil. So no, he has nothing to do with the shot there. And again, right here, and I'm going to take, and I want to zoom in for you on this. I've got a lot of photographs taken that I've been working on here, but let me real quick here catch the laser. There it is there, the laser that hits the guy's phone. That's the best shot right there. I'm going to photograph this for you so you can see this for yourself and blow this up for you in the image here. That's most likely an infrared laser. It's not seen with the naked eye. It's in the 808 to 850 nanometer infrared light range there, but it could be seen by the person looking through that type of device. At the same time, from what I have been able to ascertain from scientific reviews on these things, a cell phone screen would reflect it, and it would reflect as a white light, even though it could be green or red. The phone itself would just pick it up as a white looking dot is what it would do there. So that's what I noticed the first thing. That's what caught my attention after examining every possible angle that I could on these different shots, different things there that were going on there. This guy definitely not. There is another thing that's in this same video footage, and I want to share this with you as well. And this is the camera lady that was filming there. They really, and I'm sure, I don't know why it's being suppressed, but she doesn't have the camera on Charlie just before the shot. It may be the speaker that Charlie is interviewing because he's right there close to the stage. Perhaps, though, she actually picks up the shooter in her camera. Much better quality imagery than a phone would have, for sure. But I just wanted to mention that as well. And then the other one too, I wanted to share with you there. And again, I do not want people seeing a lot of these imageries here. I may not have it on here. Maybe I have it actually on the screen here, though, where a man actually shows the different things. But let's get to this new breaking important information right now. And I've got to figure out a way to do this. So I'm going to minimize the screen here. I'm going to first, it is slowed down at 50%. I'm going to play this for you just for a moment. I want you to listen closely. And just for a moment, I'm not going to comment at first. Just listen. When the shot goes off, listen carefully. Okay. You hear that sound, like a clank sound almost. Now that is at half speed. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Sorry, going to speed it up to 0.75. You can still hear it pretty clearly, but I can control the imagery there. Let me kind of move Charlie up because I don't want people to see that. Listen again.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
You notice that sound, right? Now, I want you to hear the sound of the shot when you're not standing close by Charlie. Listen to it now.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
Little pop noise. You don't hear, listen again.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
You hear a little bit of the echo, a pop sound, not, by the way, listen, they're saying that this guy that they're accusing of shooting Charlie had a 30-06. All right, a 30-06. Let's listen real quick to the sound of this gun here. Again, you're in an enclosed area. So the sound of a 30-06 in an enclosed area is going to have some definite sound. Most phones that video, though, they have sound suppressors, so they don't pick up very well. So it's kind of hard for me to find a good quality 30-06 sound. I've shot a 30-06 many times. I know what they sound like. But listen again to the actual gun that shoots Charlie. Listen.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
Just a little pop sound, right? Now let's go back again, though, to the one that's right there where Charlie is at. Now I'm going to put it at regular speed so you can hear it at regular speed. Listen in and watch also the laser that pops off the guy's phone.
In America, over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
You hear that metal clank sound? It almost sounds to me if it's the receiver of a semi-automatic. That's what it sounds like. Listen to it again, and then we're going to play a 30-06.
How many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
Again, you hear the clanking sound. All right, let's then take a look at the sound of a 30-06, what it sounds like. That is a 30-06. Nothing at all like this little sound.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
That's a much smaller caliber. And what's really strange is when you listen to this, right? Now I'll take you to this is a German, East German Makarov that the guy shoots here. It does have a little bit of a clank sound. Whoops, sorry.
This is an East German Makarov. Some of the hardest milsurps to get of the Eastern Bloc, close to where the original Walther factory was, and that's very appropriate since the Makarov is more off the Walther PP. So let's fire this and try it out.
He shoots a lot, but just listen. Hear the clank? Interesting, isn't it? A clank sound, right? Now let's go back to where they're filming it at here and listen again.
Over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
Hear the clank? We have, and I'll slow it down so it's easier for me to show you the laser itself. Okay? This case, it's okay. It's not going to hurt there because we're not going to see anything graphic. Watch what happens on the guy's phone. You can see his face, everything in there. There's the laser. First hits hits his phone. Scoots over. Goes, and actually you won't see it, but it's going to go right off the top of his phone. And as soon as it does, not long after, maybe a second, Charlie goes over. Now the guy is still filming. But here's what's fascinating. Let me play it again, and I want you to think about how I'm going to put it 0.75. Think how close the camera guy is to the guy that's actually filming this.
Over the last 10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
He's extremely close. Now, Mike Adams put out a video that is noteworthy to look at. And we're going to go to that real quick. That's from this angle right here. And the guy, I'll take off his voice because he's assuming that the guy that was this guy here with the white hat and the white shirt, he is the guy. Hang on, let me back it up here. This is the guy right there that you see in that photo. Let me back all the way up just for a moment there, okay? Let's look at what we got going on. There is a fairly good size, the barricade is maybe 25 feet away from the stage itself, okay? Just to give you a little bit better perspective, okay? The guy that is talking, and I think that's who the camera lady is showing there, is right here. He's talking on the microphone, asking the question to Charlie, okay? And then it's going to come up. All right, this guy here, I mistakenly assumed that maybe he had something under his arm. It is a cell phone that he has. I've looked at it so many different ways. Nothing, I don't, my opinion, they're not really involved in anything. All these men go to Charlie's aid immediately. I can't imagine them being in there, and by the way, all he does is he touches his face at that very moment there. He touches his face. He does not touch his ear, okay? Never his ear, just his face. Did he touch his cap? We don't see it in this particular thing here, but it was just he touched his cheek there, all right? So I think it's just coincidence. I don't think it's fair to accuse these men of anything at all, right? And also, too, he drops to the ground. He's concerned about being shot. Both these men worked their way over to Charlie to assist on Charlie at that time there. All right, this guy here is not the guy that filmed, although he is going to be direct at the film real quick. All right. He is just barely off from where Charlie is right there. Okay, so let's go back. It's barely off. So it's either this guy here and maybe the guy that took off running was a different guy, but it could have been a guy behind him, or it may be this guy that stays there. But it seems to be that the shooter is extremely close. Whether it's this guy, could be, I don't think it's that guy sitting there, but there is that guy back there in the alcove area there where they can drive the cars in and out that happens to be there. But clearly, as he raises his hands up, he has maybe he has to turn on the sight so that he can get the laser pin on Charlie. And in the process, just briefly, it reflects off the phone, that goes into position, a shot is fired, and Charlie is hit. That's what it appears to be. I do say 100% from the sounds of the weapon and everything, that guy is extremely close to these people right here. He is not 200 yards away. The weapon is definitely right there. Now, let me move on to a couple of other things real quick for you. I want you to look at what Charlie was saying here, right? Again, reasons, and then we're going to back it up with a couple of witnesses that know Charlie personally. Listen in.
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here. But I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order?
You hear the guy? Whew. He's like, he's brave.
6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews.
And just to make the point perfectly clear, all right, I want to share with you just real quick. You see it all the time when you go to my channel right here. Let me just click at it. Maybe it'll make it bigger. I don't know if it does or doesn't. Maybe, no, it doesn't. Sorry. So we'll go back. That's September 22nd, 2004. I took that photo. I was at that suicide bomber. That's the one where miraculously God had to lead me away from the woman or I would have died that day. You see, that's the guys in blue are the military police. The guys in green are the IDF. They were there within about 2 minutes, swarming. I lived there during the Intifada. I know what Israel's capabilities are. No, it doesn't take. I can drive all the way down to Eilat in 4 hours from Jerusalem. Pretty much you could navigate the country from north to south in less than 6 hours. And yet they're saying it 6 hours, they did nothing and it was being live streamed. I agree 100% with Charlie. It was a stand down, as many other Jewish people have said as well, right? Now, let me just show you something here real quick. Tucker Carlson makes this statement here, just came out, I believe, today. Listen.
Not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said it to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true.
That's Tucker Carlson. Kirk did not like Bibi Netanyahu. Okay? Now, let me show you Candace Owens and what she had to say.
Okay? I can tell you that. You're either going to take being kicked in the chest, okay, and told to get out, and then suddenly they're all communicating behind your back, and just where he talks about that article, something goes out and suddenly it's like, what's going on? They're like trying to make you think you're going crazy because you're saying some sensible stuff. Charlie was at that moment. He says that he is receiving messages calling him an anti-Semite. So how can you lie right now and dispute it? And better question, why are you lying? I don't like little lies. I'm being contacted by a lot of people that are telling me at just within 48 hours before Charlie passed away, his top Jewish donors were pulling funding from him, demanding that Charlie take their name off of the building that they had donated to Charlie.
48 hours before.
I guess I can figure.
48 hours before he